Hey everyone, welcome to Moving Matt. We do vlogs, travel, and some camera stuff. And today we have some big news coming from Sony. The mystery flagship camera that sits above the A9, the camera that shoots 8K with ridiculous photo specs, the best one, the amazing one, the Sony A1. No, not that A1. I just finished watching the live stream, so let me go over some of the insane specs and some of the features and lack of features that stood out to me. Okay, let's get right into it and go over these specs. It will have a 50 megapixel sensor and shoot 30 frames per second, which is crazy fast. It does this with zero blackout. It also will make 120 autofocus and auto exposure calculations per second. Basically, it's ridiculous fast autofocus. That autofocus will have 759 points and will have 92% sensor coverage. It also adds bird autofocus and other animals as well. It is unclear though if it will have an automatic switching or if it will be something that you'll have to switch in the menus, kind of like you did in the A7 R4. Speaking of menus, it says it will have a new touch menu system. I don't know if it means it will have the same new menu like the A7S III, or if they've refined it even more. Something that is coming from the A7S III is the 9.44 million .EVF with the 240 refresh rate. I do believe that is the same refresh rate as the Sony A7S III, but they did make a bigger deal out of it here, probably because they're aiming this at sports photographers at the Olympics. But one thing I'll say is they seem to be aiming this camera more broadly as well, kind of a A1 camera to rule them all scenario. Get it? You know, A1 camera to rule them all? Okay, I'll stop. Coming from the A7S III as well is the dual card slots that can be used as SD cards as well as the Type A CF Express cards. So that is a pretty cool setup, and I wonder if that will be coming to the A7 IV later as well. They have 5.5 stops of image stabilization as well as the electronic stabilization coming from the S3 as well. It has an ISO range of 100 to 32,000 and is expandable to 50 to 102,400, and it will also have 15 stops of dynamic range. But they didn't say for sure that that dynamic range is for video as well, or at least I didn't hear that. And speaking of video, let's go over to the video specs. It will do 8K 30, and this 8K 30 is downsampled from 8.6K. Which, what does that even mean? I mean, what's it gonna look like? I know what it means, but it's just mind-blowing. It will also do 4K 120, and that is downsampled from 5.8K, and this will be a full sensor readout with no pixel binning. It will also do this at 10-bit and have the all-I format, and from going deep in the specs, I can say it is the 600 megabits per second that we have in the Sony A7S III. It also has all the major picture profiles like S-Log 2 and 3, HLG 1 through 3, Cine 1 through 4, kind of like the Sony A7S III, but it also adds Cine tone, which I didn't find in the Sony A7S III specs. And this is what I mean by appealing to a wider audience than like the A9 lineup. The A9 does not have all the same video profiles as this, so this is trying to be a top of the line in both photo and video. And with the Olympics going over to 8K, that really makes a lot of sense. Okay, talking about the 8K, it does have a 30-minute recording limit, and it also has the same limit for 4K 60, which I don't remember if that was the same case as the Sony A7S III. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know. They didn't go over how long the 4K 120 limit was, or at least I didn't hear that part. They also didn't go out of their way to say it didn't overheat, but did say that it had the same cooling system that is found in the A7S III, so I am assuming that that means it will be really good with heat. It also appears to be a slightly chunkier camera, so I think that that will help with dissipating the heat as well. It is still pretty small looking though, so just a little bit bigger than the other Alpha cameras. Okay, I know this has been a lot, but what else sticks out here? It will also shoot 4K 16-bit RAW to an external recorder, which is cool, and I believe is also coming, or maybe already is in, the Sony A7S III via firmware update. Okay, so there is a really big disappointing thing, and it is that it doesn't have a flip screen. Really, Sony? I mean, I know this is aimed at professionals, but don't you think there's going to be vlogging YouTube scrubs, like Casey would call us, that are going to want to use this camera? Is it that hard just to add a little flippy thing? I mean, you could even add a thing that it tilts down and then like goes over. I just think there are ways to do this, and I do not know why it wasn't added. But speaking of this professionals thing, I might as well rip off the band-aid here, which is something they did not do in their live stream, and it took me a few minutes to find this information. But here it is, it cost $6,500. Well, $6,498 to be exact, and will be ready to pre-order on January 27th, which is tomorrow, or maybe has already happened depending on when you're watching this. This camera is up there in price and isn't really aimed towards vloggers at all, but I still wish they had a flip screen. But it doesn't feel too expensive, and it really isn't out of the ballpark considering that it is going to be a flagship. I always thought it was interesting that the A9 lineup came in under the Canon and Nikon competitors, and this is now the same price as the Canon Windy X Mark III. But I guess that brings me over to the competition. What will Canon and Nikon have to answer this? We know, or at least it's been rumored, that the Nikon Z9 will have an 8K as well, and they usually use Sony sensors. Will this be the same sensor as the Z9? Or is this going to be a sensor that maybe, Sony holds for themselves? I guess time will tell. And what will Canon have to answer this? We know that they have a flagship camera coming as well. Most are calling it the R1. And it sounds pretty insane as well. But most rumors are saying it does not have the 8K, which I'm wondering if it will hurt some at the Olympics since they are broadcasting everything at 8K. Granted, they will be using like broadcast cameras for most of it, but they will want some of those extra sideline shots, and Canon not having 8K, I wonder if that'll affect anything. Of course, Canon does have 8K on the R5, and while it's definitely an achievement, it also kind of felt more like a marketing ploy. It is usable 8K, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be as reliable as the Sony camera, and I don't see professionals at the Olympics choosing the R5 over this new A1 camera, and they are in a different price range for a reason. But these are just the big questions that I have. What do you all think? Did this camera impress you? Did Sony bring the sauce? Okay. Drop in the comment section below and let me know. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stay up to date with all the news and rumors, consider subscribing. And until next time, peace.